$2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco, WagerTalk.com, and welcome to our Tuesday edition of Stoppage Time. This is the Champions League edition. A bunch of Leg 2 matches, 2 today, 2 tomorrow. We're going to cover all 4 of them. With me is Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com and Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. Nick will be back on Thursday. He's away today. 4 big games, guys, and I'm going to bring the boys in. Kev, how you doing? Pretty good run for you right now in soccer.
Yeah, really good run, Carmine. 3-0 sweep last night, which I was happy with. We're 10-2 over the weekend as well. So, we've got 2 plays up for tonight and then a big 5% play up for tomorrow night. So, really looking forward to this Champions League slate.
Awesome. And a bunch of good games, and we're going to get to them in a second. But let's bring in none other than working remotely today, Pavlos Laguretos. How you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Carmine. Unfortunately, the internet back at home is busted, so I have to go somewhere else today. Hopefully, this new place will give me good vibes and good predictions for Champions League. It's been a great, actually excellent past week. I got 4 correct scores from the Copa del Rey, from the Copa del Rey again. So it's been great. I have some correct scores up for today and tomorrow, so let's look at the matches.
That's what I want to hear. And myself, yesterday, a 2-0 day as well, with Chelsea laying a goal, plus 105 or plus 109, and a win on West Ham, who are playing some really good football at this point and are in a battle for that Champions League. And having a good year overall, 61.16% bankroll gain, hitting 58% of the plays so far in soccer. So I'm looking forward to a couple games, and we're going to get right to it. Our first game on the sched today, Dortmund and Sevilla. Dortmund are plus 120 in this game. The draw is plus 260. Sevilla plus 210, and the total is 3. We know what the leg 1 result was. They played in Sevilla, with Dortmund winning that game 3-2. Gave up an early goal, but then scored 3 goals to take control of that tie. Let's look at some of the stuff here before I go to, and then I'm going to go to Kev first on this one. Dortmund played on the weekend, scored a couple quick ones against Bayern Munich, and then gave up 4. Haaland left in the 60th minute with an injury, but all indications are everything is fine with him. He will be playing today. Sancho will not be playing today. He's probably going to be out for a few weeks still. And as far as Sevilla, they picked the wrong time to go on a bit of a slump, a little bit off form. For the last 5 games, they have dropped thus far. But here's the thing is, and then Kevin, I'm going to throw to you, this Sevilla team still has plenty of quality, and they're going to need a 2-goal win at this point because of those 3 away goals. But it's not out of the realm for this team to win a 2-0 game, a 3-1 game. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I'm honestly, pretty much at a loss for words after that leg 1 performance. I was extremely high on Sevilla going into that game, so high that I actually had a 5% in them. I'm a big fan of Lopetegui, but, just as we've seen with Atletico not long after, there seems to be almost a disconnect now between these Spanish teams and the rest of Europe. I honestly kind of couldn't fathom why Lopetegui, what was he thinking in his game tactically? It's been a pretty open secret for a while now that while you mightn't be able to contain Haaland and that Dortmund offense, if you put Dortmund on the back foot, suddenly they're not the same animal. We've seen at the weekend, 4 goals conceded in the group stage to Lazio, 4 to Bayern on Saturday, as we said. This is definitely a Dortmund team that can be got at, especially at defense. But, what did we see instead? Sevilla take the lead, everything looks good. And then they decide to abandon the high press, sit back, typical Spanish style, and look to invite Dortmund onto them. I mean, it's almost laughable stuff. And worse than that, incredibly naive in my book as well, as Dortmund obviously took the invitation, absolutely tore right through them. So tonight's going to tell us a lot about where Spanish football as a whole is at right now. If this was a German, English or Italian side, that was down 3-2 from the first leg, you know what the play would be. They'd come out firing, looking to get back in the tie, and it would be an obvious play on the over. But I'm just not sure that Sevilla have it in them to play that high-paced attacking football, as we saw with Atletico again against Chelsea. The Spanish teams just keep playing this same tired old possession-based probe and attack football, and that might win you a Europa League from time to time, but against Europe's elite, and especially against German competition, you're going to get crushed. So I have no interest in the side for this one. I do expect the over to hit here. I've just obviously berated Sevilla for the last 10 minutes for being far too conservative. But surely you would imagine they're going to have to abandon that tiki-taka possession type football, go straight for the jugular tonight. Yes, it's only 3-2, but they do need goals. This Dortmund defense is weak. If Sevilla can get an early goal, that's the most important thing. If they can get an early goal and not play possum immediately after like they did last time, then this tie becomes wide open. And obviously, in terms of the over, Erling Haaland on the other side, you've got a guy who will punish any Sevilla errors. So, over for me in this one.
Yeah, and I tend to think the same thing. I think a lot of when looking at this total, and then I'm going to go to Pavlos on this, has to do with who scores first. My initial thought is over as well here too. But if Sevilla get the first goal, they aren't necessarily pressing, especially if they get that first goal within the first 30 minutes or so. They're not pressing the same way as they normally would because they now know 2-0 is all they need to get through, and they've got 60 minutes to do it. So maybe it's not an all-out where you push that back line up. If Dortmund get if Dortmund get the first one, this game is going over the total without doubt. Sevilla literally will have to go, for lack of a better word, balls to the wall and throw guys up. It's that tiki-taki style. If you look at some of their games, they just don't score goals in bundles. You know what I mean? Their last goal where they scored a couple goals other than that Champions League, they 2 away to Osasuna. Prior to that, they had that League One Copa del Rey against Barcelona 2-0, but there's some 3-0s on there. But Getafe, Valencia, Cadiz, these aren't teams of Bayern's, but not Bayern's, of Dortmund's stature. So can they score a couple goals? Yes, I believe they can. They're going to have to play a completely different game than they have all year and than they have in their past 5 games. Pavlos, give me your thought on this one.
Yeah, you guys made some very good points. I think the entire world will bet on the over today, the over 3, which is actually going up. The odds are going up. It's at plus 109, I think, right now. However, there's many ways to look at this. If Dortmund score the first goal, Sevilla might be, disappointed, and then Dortmund might score another, and we could easily see a 2-0 score for Dortmund. If Sevilla score the first goal, then they have hopes. Then they know that they can score another and qualify. Then Dortmund might play defensively. They might go for the kill. They might go for the. I mean, there are so many ways and so many vantage points to look at this match. And I wouldn't blame anyone if they pick the under or the over. I myself, I'm staying away from the totals. If I would, I'd bet on the over, of course, because Sevilla, they need 2 or more goals, and they are bound to open up at some point, and Dortmund can take advantage of that. Also, Dortmund are missing some key players in the defense and in the midfield. Witsel is out, Sancho is out, Akanji is out, who is a very good center back, and Guerreiro is also out. So that might give Sevilla some operating room. My best bet, however, for this match, and I don't want to stretch it out a lot, is the fact that actually Cüneyt Çakır is the referee of this match. And you guys, I love this referee. Yeah. He is one of the most notorious. He's notorious for giving penalties. So just some stats about the referee of this match. Last season, he awarded 6 penalty kicks in 4 Champions League matches and 19 penalty kicks in 30 matches in all competitions. This season, he has officiated 3 Champions League matches, and he has awarded 2 penalty kicks. So without too many words, I am taking the over 1 penalty kick, over a half penalty kick at plus 155.
All right.
And
I love it, and I'm very familiar with. There's a few officials I'm very familiar with. When I see them out there, I either love them or hate them. He is one of them. I can't remember the Spaniard's name, the most prominent one. Him as well too. And then of course I always will remember none other than Michael Oliver. Not one of my favorite EPL officials, but since he gave. He awarded Real Madrid that penalty kick in the 90th minute and Buffon a red card after we had Real Madrid on the ropes 3-0 in League 2 a couple years back. That said, let's move on to the second one. Speaking of the aforementioned Juventus, they played today at home against Porto. Current odds are anywhere between 225 to 250 on Juventus. The draw is plus 375. Porto plus 650. The total is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. We all know what happened in League 1. Porto won League 1 2-1 at home. So Juve will need at least a 1-0 gets them through into the next round, or any other two-goal win any other two-goal win sees them through. They don't want to lose 2-1. That'll send it to extra time. And any other one-goal win that is not 2-1 will see Porto get through. We also know what happened in that game. Bentancur, who won't be playing today due to illness. Maybe the illness is from that back pass to Szczesny 2 minutes in, which caused Juve to go down 1-0. And then they fell asleep at the start of the second half, and Porto up 2-0. But a great goal by Chiesa got that all-important away goal for Juve, so which puts them in a position now to advance. Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Juve come off a pretty impressive weekend win over Lazio 3-1, in which they fell behind again. They rested Ronaldo in that one. He came on for the last 25 minutes. But more importantly was the return of Alvaro Morata. I said it before the game, and I told people on Twitter, him being in the lineup, even though they're resting Ronaldo, he creates a lot more chances for this team. He gets that ball moving upfield. He's just an element that they didn't even have in League 1. He didn't come on until the last 25 minutes of that game, and completely changed those final 25 minutes of that game. He's going to start today. Obviously, he'll start with Ronaldo up front, unless, of course, Pirlo does something completely shambolic. But I have to believe Juve is the play here.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Look, like everyone else, if you missed leg one, it was basically the Porto show. But Juventus really got out of jail with that 82nd minute, to make it 2-1, because now the advantage, even though they're behind, the advantage is arguably swung back in their favour. What made it possibly been a difficult ask of Juventus returning home with a 2-0 deficit. It just becomes such a lot easier when you've got that away goal. So it's a massive shift in momentum. But look, even though I was looking for a good number, I was hoping to get a decent price in Juventus in the second leg, as I do believe they'll find a way to progress. It's all about the number at the end of the day, and I think plus 1.25. I think that line is shot too far the other way for me, and I'll take the dog here. With the 1.25 goal value. Juventus have been pretty slow starters this season, just one goal before the 39th minute over the last 4 starts, for instance. And if that continues here, that pressure keeps getting ratcheted up. And we saw what happened last year against Lyon. It's all, the problem for Juventus is it's all well and good pulling 3 goals back in the second half of a midweek game against Spezia. But this is a Champions League elimination game. And if Juventus are still found wanting pushing into the second half of this game, things could get very nervy for the Italians. And as we said, just bring up that Lyon game from last year. The reason that I like plus 1.25 is if Juventus get the first goal here, they might well try and shut up shop. 1-0 would be enough to see them progress. So that might do them. But on the opposite end, if Porto get that opening goal again, similar to what we've seen last year in the Lyon game, then 1.25 suddenly looks like a bargain. I think either way this goes, whoever gets the first goal, I think Porto plus 1.25. I like that play.
All right. In looking at the odds, Pavlos, a couple things. Number one is, the odds, like I said, are anywhere between 225 to 250 on Juventus to win the game. But the odds to qualify are much better at minus 175, Juve to qualify, and you have to figure if they win this game, it's likely going to be by one of those 1-0, 2-0 type of score lines. I just don't see how this game ever turns into one of those 3-1 type of games or 3-2 that sees them win, but not go through on the away goals rule, or that it finishes 2-1 and we go to extra time. Which, with regards to this, give me your thoughts on this game and also on the total.
Yeah, well, Juventus, they've been great against Portuguese sides, especially at home. They have 5 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Porto, they've been actually mediocre against the Italian sides. They have 10 wins, 14 losses, and 9 draws, regardless of venue. And on Italian soil, they have 4 wins, 8 losses, and 3 draws. So if you look at historical facts, Juventus have the upper hand here. Juventus, there's a very interesting stat about Juventus, and it's goal related. However, it's not one of the, let's say, popular markets in the sports books in USA. If you guys don't know this, I live in Greece, and one of the most popular bets we have here in Greece, but you also have it on FanDuel, for example. So the big sports books actually offer this, but most people just overlook it. They just don't go there. Is the exact goals. So this prop bet has 3 selections. There is 0 to 1 goals, 2 or 3 goals, and 4 or more goals. So Juventus are one of the, especially in the Champions League, they're one of the teams that the range of goals in their matches is usually between 2 or 3 goals. That means that covers a lot of correct score combinations, like 2-0, 1-1, 0-2. 2-1, 1-2. So it's one of the very popular prop bets. And Juventus, in 7 of their last 8 Champions League matches, they had this exact same prop, 2 or 3 goals. And the same statistic showed up in 11 of their last 13 Champions League matches at home. So again, it's one of the prop bets that really covers a range of correct scores that in this particular match, with the 1-2 correct score of the first match, I think that the final score of the second leg will revolve around that one. This looks like a 2-0, 2-1 to me. The 2-1 that sends the match to extra time is also a nice bet at, I think, plus 700. So, yeah, however, you mentioned before that that game with between Juventus and Atletico Madrid a couple of years back, that referee is actually today's referee, Bjorn Kuipers, and the guy that awarded that late penalty kick to Juventus. So this is the official in today's match as well. So if you think that Ronaldo will get a penalty kick, you can get Juventus to score a penalty kick at plus 300. So yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to look at this, but I think I'll go with the 2 or 3 goals and the Juventus to score a PK penalty kick at plus 300.
Yeah. And, the thing is, if you look at some of the exact scores, and just going back to the Dortmund one just quickly, it was interesting because I saw the 2-2 draw is plus 1,100 and 3-1 Dortmund are plus 1,400. I'm probably going to put some pizza money on those ones because they seem like score lines that could very well happen in that game. Getting back to this one, if you look at the exact odds, 1-0 Juve and 2-0 Juve are the same price at plus 600. 3-0 Juve are plus 900. The only thing here, and listen, I'm a Juve fan, is that our midfield, or the midfield for Juve, does not instill fear in anyone's hearts. It just doesn't. And this is why this team hurts. And I'm not even sure that they can stop any team right now from shipping any goals against them. It's just the way it is. And then the other thing is, and I talked about it before the Leg 1 game, is where people talked about the draw and they drew Porto. They got the lucky draw. Be careful what you wish for. 2 years ago, they drew Ajax. Everyone thought that was great. Ajax knocked them out. Last year, they drew Lyon. Everyone thought, hey, we got an easy draw with Lyon. Lyon knocked them out. So maybe Porto is this year's Ajax and Lyon. It very well could happen, and we'll see today. All right, Listen, guys, before we head on to that third game, which is tomorrow's game, it is $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. At WagerTalk today, the $2 capper is my co-host on Puck Time, Andrew McInnes. He'll be up. His play should be up a little later on this afternoon. I believe it is an NHL play, but it could also be a college basketball play. You'll have to check WagerTalk and Sports Memo for those plays. But these are cappers plays that normally go for $29 or $40, and you get them on Tuesday for only $2. They're the hottest capper on each site. So head over to WagerTalk and Sports Memo and pick up that package. Also, I have a deal up for the guys on the show and Nick Borrman, who's not here. This is a great deal. I've literally knocked a ton of money off of this one. This is an end of soccer deal. You'll find it on each capper's page for this show. Get every single play in soccer right up until the final weekend of Europe's season for the top 5 leagues, which is May 23rd. That'll also include all Champions League plays, all Europa League plays, and any 5% plays in those. And by this time, MLS will have started too. And I know Pavlos is a huge fan of MLS. So that includes those plays as well. $249 gets that package. Every single play for the next 2.5 months. This normally goes for $6.99. So I knocked 65% off that deal. Pick it up at on my page, Kevin's page, Nick's page, or Pavlos's page. All right, guys. Game 3. I'm going to go to Pavlos first on this one, but Red Bull Leipzig and Liverpool, leg 1, win to Liverpool 2-0. That game, neither one of these games are true home field games. That leg 1 game was not played in Germany. It was played in Budapest. This leg 2 will also be played in Budapest, which is probably good for Liverpool because they can't seem to win any games at Anfield right now. 2-0 for Liverpool in that one. 2 goals within 4 minutes in the second half. They've lost 6 of their past 8 games. Their only wins were against bottom of the league Sheffield, 2-0, and this 2-0 leg 1 win in Budapest over Leipzig. Leipzig have won 8 of the past 9, 4 wins on either side of that 2-0 loss to Liverpool. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Liverpool's plus 130, the draw is plus 260. Leipzig is plus 190, and the total is 2.75, split line of 2.5 and 3.
Yeah. What is wrong with Liverpool? Can somebody tell me what the hell is wrong with Liverpool? I mean, they've been very, very bad. I can't understand how they are so bad. They had a rough stretch where they were missing like all over their defense, but most of them are back now. It's the offense where the problem is lately. I mean, in their last 6 home matches, they lost every single one. They scored just 1 goal, oddly enough, against Manchester City in their last 6 home matches, where they lost all 6. I mean, that's insane. They lost to Chelsea, which, one might say is a derby. They lost to Everton, it's a City derby. They lost to City, City is the better team. But they also lost to Burnley, Brighton, and Fulham. These are teams that are fighting to avoid the relegation from the Premier League. So something is very wrong with Liverpool right now. The champions, the EPL title is out of reach. The only thing that could save their season is to do a good job in the Champions League. So if you think that they'll do well in the Champions League, you have to go with Liverpool here, who, mind you, they don't need a win to progress. They can even lose by 0-1, and they can progress. So I'm not really a very, very, convinced by Liverpool right now. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a massive bounce back win or whatever. However, Leipzig are a very solid side. I was actually expecting them. I was expecting them to struggle over the weekend at Freiburg, but they ended up winning by 3-0, which was awesome. That was their 8th win in their last 9 matches. They've been great. They do have some absences. They do have some important absences in the midfield, but they have such a stacked team, so they can replace pretty much anyone in that team. and they're coming in hot. They've been great on the road. They have lost just once in the last 10 matches. Really, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Leipzig managed to drop at least 2 goals on Liverpool and throw them out. So that being said, I think I'll take Leipzig with plus 190 today. Yeah, I just can't even go even with a draw for Liverpool right now.
No, and I get it. And Kev, I see his point on this. And and the thing is although they won that that first one 2-0, it's the same thing as we're not, and we're going to talk about it with the following game. We're not looking at who is going to advance here. We're looking at who is going to win this game. So it very well could be Leipzig winning the game 1-0 or 2-1 and not advancing, but winning the game. So we're talking on a game-by-game basis, and we'll throw in our opinion on who could possibly advance. The Liverpool thing is they're 7 points off of a Champions League spot right now in the EPL. And not only are they 7 points off, they've got 4 other teams in front of them that they would need to leapfrog in order to try and get into that 4th spot. And it's not looking good. And I get it, the injuries. Obviously, losing a guy like Virgil van Dijk and losing Gomez has hurt this team. Henderson's got an injury as well, too, groin injury. He won't be in. You just look at the list has grown on this team. And when you're not that fine-tuned, oiled machine that motors along and wins games, it's tough. And they're feeling it right now. Any chance, Kev, that Leipzig ships a 2-0 win, 3-0 win here?
I definitely think it's possible. Pavlos made some really good points. And, I think this bad run, and it's been some bad run for Liverpool, it's really exposed how thin they are, in terms of personnel. They're rotating Henderson into defence and so on. And as you said, to open this up, though, I don't think Liverpool will ever be as happy as they are right now to see a neutral venue pop up in a crunch game. Because that whole Fortress Anfield tag, and I'll use that term extremely loosely, getting away from there will arguably be a big bonus for them tomorrow night. So I thought Leipzig were poor in leg one. I had them for small stakes. I think it was a 2% free play I had up on them in that game. And, they just played the wrong matchup tactically for me. On top of allowing Liverpool a ton of space to operate, you simply cannot gift them goals as Leipzig did in that game. Because no matter how bad a form Liverpool might be in, players like Salah and Mane are quality and they will punish you. So, but look, I definitely lean Leipzig, same as Pavlos said. I continue to be impressed with Leipzig coach, Julian Nagelsmann. He showed how savvy he is in the group stage, for instance. We reversed that 5-0 thumping by Manchester United in that first game, turned into a 3-2 win in the second game. So he's shown he's a coach that can definitely adapt and get a result at the highest levels of the game. I think ahead of leg one, there might have been a bit of trepidation for Leipzig in how to set up tactically for Liverpool. But I don't think there'll be any grey area here for Nagelsmann. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how he needs to approach this game. And this is a great spot for the Germans to go right for the jugular tomorrow night, against a wounded Liverpool team. They have to win by at least 2 clear goals to have any chance of progressing. So, Leipzig, but the over more for me in this one, over the total for me in this one.
All right. And I get it. And it's similar to what we talked about. It's getting that first goal and then you're sort of changing your tactics. Get the first goal, and we're talking about Leipzig here. And while you still need a second in order to get it to at least extra time, while not conceding, you no longer have to go full out to get that. You can sort of get back into how you played. And you're right; they got it wrong that first game. They allowed the formation and how they set up. They allowed guys like Salah to get behind that back line. They allowed a lot of speed up the wings. They didn't slow down the Liverpool team, and they paid for it greatly. So we'll see if they can change that up tomorrow, Wednesday, and get that first one and at least make the game a little tighter and much more enjoyable. All right, guys, final game. Last but not least, PSG, Barcelona. PSG plus 110. The draw is plus 320. Barcelona plus 190. You don't normally see Barcelona plus 190. And the total is 3.25, which is 3.5. We know what happened in League One at Camp Nou, 4-1 for PSG. Mbappe just absolutely put on a masterclass there. Best player on the field, on the pitch. This is another one where it's going to be tough, obviously, to overturn the tie. Listen, Barcelona's going to need, Barcelona's going to need to win 4-0 or any 3-goal win that is 4-1 or higher. 4-1 gets them to extra time. Any 3-goal win after that sees them through on the away goals. I think, again, the emphasis on this show and with regards to this game is who is going to win this game more so of who is going to advance, because I think that at this point here is an afterthought. And I get there's going to be Barcelona fans out there that are going to say, hey, PSG beat us 4-0 a couple years back and we beat them 6-1. Completely different. The first game was at Parc des Princes, this one, and the second game was at Camp Nou. This is completely reversed. So I'm going to go to you first, Kev. With regards to this game, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm happy enough ahead of this game. Mentioned on the show before that, sent out PSG back in December to advance from this tie. And, as you said, thankfully that play looks, all but sewn up now, obviously. As you mentioned, famous last words, that epic collapse 4 years ago from PSG. But Neymar's on our team this time. So I don't see that, lightning striking twice here. And again, look, I've said it on this show already. I have to bring up my reservations about Spanish teams in this competition, because they continue to pop up. PSG, especially Mbappe, as you said, they absolutely tore right through this Barcelona defence in League One. And, it's arguably a good thing for Barcelona that Piqué is out of this game, because the poor guy's probably in hiding. He probably faked that leg injury. I like PSG tomorrow night, especially if you can get them off scratch. I mean, I don't even know how Barcelona attempt to approach this game. The media, at least over here in Europe, are promoting the idea that maybe Messi has one last magical performance at him. And if that's the basis of wagering Barcelona tomorrow night, you may as well keep your money in your pocket. Go rent a movie. There's no point in Barcelona playing conservatively tomorrow night. We know the hole that they're in, so they may as well go for it. But then by doing that, they leave themselves wide open to getting absolutely shredded in the counter-attack by a much more mobile PSG front three. So it's basically a no-win for Barcelona tomorrow night. I was extremely impressed not only with Mbappe in Leg 1, but also Verratti. He controlled that midfield area, and that led to the creation of a lot of chances for PSG. And if he could do that again, PSG could make this easy work by the final whistle. At the end of the day, we all know what Barcelona need to do here. I just don't think they can. So PSG for me in this one.
Yeah, and I get it. And Pavlos, listen, they're playing. They're making a run back at the La Liga title. Barcelona is. It'll with Atletico dropping points on the weekend in the Madrid derby, it becomes a little more workable and possibly catching them for top spot there. But 4-1, it's going to be a tough one to overcome. As far as the game goes, can they win? Yeah, of course they can win. Anytime you have, arguably one of the greatest, and I'll let the Ronaldo and Messi fanboys go at it on Twitter. I'm not going to get involved in that. They're both fantastic players. But anytime you have one of them on your team, there's always the capability of winning games, coming back. Whether they come back from 4-1, I'm not sure. Neymar won't play. Once again, Neymar being Neymar, they say he's injured, but I think in 5 of the last 6 years, he's missed a Champions League game either through suspension or some type of injury. I'm not sure what this one is. They were saying he was at his sister's birthday and is sick. So we'll see what. Give me your thoughts on this game. We'll see what goes on with the Neymar later on after this game is over.
Yeah, his sister's birthday is in 2 days from now, and up until yesterday, his status was up in the air. They said that he trained, he had like half a training or something, but I read today that he's unavailable. So he's free to go to his sister's birthday over in Brazil or whatever. So on a more serious note, these are two of Europe's best teams historically, not this season. Barcelona, even though they have had a lot of success, I guess this season, not too many losses, they haven't been very stable, at least in my eyes. They have a long way to go before they become, the Barcelona that they were up until a couple of seasons ago. The first leg was a devastating loss. They have to go all out here. They have to score at least 3 goals. For what it's worth, each of the previous, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Anyway, historically there's a lot of. Yeah, I'm not on my PC, so things are looking weird here. But historically, matches between the two sides, they produce a lot of goals, a lot of matches, especially at Paris or Paris. They produce goals from both sides and over 3.5 goals. So the over, I think it's a split line of over 3 and 3.5. Let me check it here. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it might be the way to go here, guys. I don't think that any team has the mentality to play defensively. Of course, Paris would be candidates to play defensively. I think Barcelona will try to do whatever they can to overturn that 4-1 loss. I usually like to bet on the correct scores for the second leg to match the correct score of the first leg. So if you're feeling crazy tonight, you can go with Barcelona to win by 4-1, which goes at around plus 3,300, or Barcelona to win by 3-0, which goes at plus 2,800. So yeah,
Okay.
I think this looks like an over to me.
All right, sounds good. Guys, there you have it. 4 games going on, 2 today, 2 tomorrow on Wednesday. We'll be back on Thursday with another stoppage time. Don't forget, guys, it's $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Andrew McInnes, my co-host on Puck Time, which comes up in 20 minutes time. He is your $2 capper at WagerTalk. Over at Sports Memo, it's none other than Dr. Chuck. He's on an extremely good run. He's the $2 capper there. These plays normally go for $29 or $40. Get them out for only $2 today on Tuesday. Included with those plays are some bonus offers that you can take advantage of, and our end of season soccer deal. Get every single play from your favorite capper right through the end of May 23rd, which is the end of the European season. This includes Champions League and Europa League, all 5% plays in soccer for only $249. This normally goes for $699. I knock 65% off. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll be back on Thursday with some Europa League games. As always, good luck with your wagers.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.